Welcome, everybody. I'm Kat, and this is Vibrational You, and I am doing, in honor of Valentine's Day, since it's on people's minds right now, I'm doing a brief video to outline an exercise that is really, really helpful if you are trying to manifest love or a soulmate or a twin flame, whatever you want to call it. Now, if you're not trying to manifest love, that's okay too. Everybody's manifestations are their own to want to go through and do, but this can be a really helpful exercise in a different way as well. So it can really be helpful for anyone. I know it's really, really common for manifestation in a soulmate or a love match situation. The advice is to write out, get into a journal, take a piece of paper, and really get into scripting or writing out everything that it is that you feel that you want in your perfect partner. All of the attributes and all of the sorts of feelings, the texture of the relationship that you're looking for. And this exercise begins in the same exact way. Some of you who've been working on this may already have your list written out, which is fantastic. If you don't, I really recommend that you take a minute to yourself and really get into your feelings and make a list describing for yourself the perfect person for you, the person that you're trying to manifest. Now, once you have the list, the next part of this exercise is to go back through that list and evaluate each of the things that you wrote down and kind of take a look at them from an energetic standpoint. Why did you write that particular aspect? Because there's a couple of different energies that we can be using to do this exercise. One of them is an energy of this is the feeling of the person that I want or the feeling in the relationship that I want. And the other kind of aspect is coming from more of a lack mentality standpoint. And what I mean by that is you may have written down something, let's take something, for example, like, I want my person to be kind and generous. Did you write that down because relationships you've had in the past, people that you've been with in the past, they were not kind and generous? You feel like it's something you've never had before, so it's something you want in a person? Or did you write it down because you feel like you really appreciate and like it when somebody's kind? It's something that you feel connected to in another person. It might be similar if you wrote down you want somebody who's romantic, who's into romantic gestures. Did you write that because you genuinely feel like you like romantic gestures, or because you feel like you've never had somebody who was like that before? There's a difference in the energy between those two things. So it's important to go through the list and sort of evaluate just for yourself why you wrote down the things that you did. If you do have a bunch of things that you wrote down from a lack mentality standpoint, that's okay. Tons of people do that. It's natural to take the experiences that we've had in life and think, God, I really didn't like that experience, so I want a different experience. It's a totally natural thing to do. But I suggest going back through and rewriting the list with a different energy in it of, what do I feel is really a match to me, instead of what do I not want? Because those lack mentality statements really come from a what do I not want standpoint instead. Once you have your list narrowed down to the things that really are, you feel like, a match for you, those sort of flavor and textures of the relationship. Maybe you wrote down that you want somebody who's adventurous, who likes new experiences, or somebody who's intellectually stimulating that you can have conversations with. Somebody who's goofy and fun, or somebody who doesn't take themselves too seriously, whatever it is that you wrote down. Go through and reread that list again with a finer eye. And then when you get to the end of it, take a moment and stop and realize that the person you wrote down is you. You wrote all of the things that you felt like were a match to you. You want somebody adventurous because you have an adventurous nature. You wrote somebody who's kind because you have a kind heart. All of those things that you wrote down, the perfect person for you is you. And that's a really tremendous thing, to spend a moment sitting in that energy. Because when we embrace an energy, a full on energy of self love, when we realize that the person we truly love is ourselves and we're just wanting something that matches our authentic self, now you're really sitting in the energy that manifests a true and perfect match for yourself. Now, if you have pieces of that you feel like you wrote down because you wanted more of it, like, I want someone who has an adventurous nature because I wish I had more adventurous stuff in my life. It just means that you are an adventurous person who's been holding themselves back from having the kind of adventures that they really want to have. Those are actionable points. So you can take something that you desire in another person because you want it in yourself and realize that is something that you are. You just need to allow yourself to go there and maybe choose to go do something that's more adventurous, choose to do something that's outside of your comfort zone or something that you've never done before. You don't need another person to bring that out in you. As a matter of fact, when you start to cultivate it for yourself within you, you activate that as an attribute, an energy that you're sending out to the universe to attract that quality in another person. So the list can also help you go through and realize the things that you really are on the inside. And maybe we just need to take some action towards doing some more of the things ourselves. And once we do that, what we really have is a fully authentic self energy going out into the universe in order to pull in somebody who is going to be a match to your fully authentic self. I love this exercise because it not only is it manifesting a soulmate, a partner, it's also really cultivating self-love, which is foundational to pulling in a match for yourself and really just foundational for having an overall better experience of life. So that's my little exercise for manifesting a partner or manifesting love in your life for a little Valentine's Day edition. I hope that you found it useful. If you have practices and things that you use in order to manifest and bring stuff into your life, feel free to drop me a comment and check back with me because we'll be uploading more tips and tricks and different things having to do with vibration. Yeah, I really need to work on the outro, right? Like, God.